itself we mentioned how there's two great personalities. Of course, Goswami. We saw Goswami means Swami means senses. Sorry, Swami means master, and Go means senses. So Goswami is one who is a master of senses. So how many Goswamis do we have? I mean, we discussed the prominent Goswamis. How many numbers? You can use the chat box.
6 Goswamis.
6 Goswamis. Thank you, Lakshmikant Prabhu. Okay, 6 Goswamis. So who is head of all the Goswamis?
Rupa Goswami.
Srila Rupa Gosvami. Yes, very nice, Prabhu. Okay. So we saw in the last session how Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, these two great personalities, how they were working under, they were from a very great, pious family. But later they, because to protect all the devotees, brahmanas and the cows from the attack of Nawab Hussain Shah, they joined, the Hussain Shah's government, and they were serving as finance minister and prime minister. And we saw that how then later they are escaping from the prison and all that. So here, so Rupa Goswami is actually Rupa Manjari. We saw that Rupa Manjari. Manjaris are the one who assist the Sakhis in Goloka Vrindavana. And so Rupa Goswami is none other than Rupa Manjari. It's very nicely mentioned here. Shri Rupa Manjari Kyata Yasid Vrindavana Pura Sadhya Rupakya Goswami Bhutva Prakatadam Yad. She who was known in Vrindavan as Rupa Manjari has now appeared as Rupa Goswami. So where is this thing written? It is written in a book called Gaura Ganodesha Deepika. Actually, this book is a very amazing book because this is written by, again, Kavi Karnapur, and where all those personalities who were in Krishna Leela, they also came in Gaura Leela. So who are those personalities in Gaura Leela, and what are their identification, or in what form they came in Krishna Leela? You can see in this book, Gaura Ganodesha Deepika. Like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Anyone knows who is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in this, in this actual form? Sarvabhauma, he came as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in in Gaura Leela. So who is this personality actually? Anyone knows? Brihaspati, yes. Brihaspati, who is the head of the demigods, spiritual master of the demigods. Very correct. So like that, so who knows Vidya Vachaspati? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's elder brother's name is Vidya Vachaspati in Gaura Leela. Anyone knows who was he in Krishna Leela, or in his earlier pastime? Who was this personality? Anyone knows? Vidya Vachaspati. Any idea? Parvata Muni. There is a great sage called Parvata Muni, like Narada Muni, Parvata Muni. They were very close friends. So Parvata Muni came as Vidya Vachaspati. So like that, all the different persons, like Haridas Thakur, Lord Brahma. So where to find this, who came in Gaura Leela from Krishna Leela? So we can see this book and you can get all the information. Yeah. So
Mataji, we're not seeing any slides, Mataji. We are seeing only first slide only.
Oh, you're not able to see?
Yeah.
What is the reason?
Okay.
Let me share again.
Yeah.
Maybe I should 1 minute.
Yeah, slideshow maybe open.
Slideshow only I put there. But what is the reason?
Maybe you can share the screen, Mataji. That will be okay. Or when you share, it will ask the option.
Option. Okay. Share screen. Yeah, it was coming before, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji. Maybe you share the screen, Mataji. That will be, I think. Okay.
Am I right?
Yes.
Now it's.
Yes,
Now
Mataji.
fine?
Yeah, we can see now.
Now you are able to see?
Yeah, yes. Right.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So this Rupa Goswami, okay, so that this is a book we can actually see the different personalities. So here, this shloka we read it in the last class, that how we all know that Lord Brahma was little bewildered. Oh, how will I create material creation? How is it possible? How can I do that? And who gave that knowledge? Tene Brahma Hridaye Adi Kavaye. So Krishna, through his murali, playing his flute, and he enlightened Brahmaji for creation. Similarly, it is mentioned here that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered Rupa Goswami to write, because Rupa Goswami, we will see in the end of the PPT, more than 16 books he has written. And amazing, it's all about the science of devotional service. So just like Brahmaji got empowered by the Lord for creation, similarly Srila Rupa Goswami got empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to write all this bhakti shastras, the books on spiritual subjects, especially the spiritual science on devotional service. So that's what is mentioned here. I don't know, when I'm clicking, it is not going to the next step. Going? You're able to see?
No, Mataji, we are in the same screen.
That's why. I don't know. It's
Maybe you can click on the arrows, Mataji. There is a mild arrows are there.
On the keyboard arrows, Mataji.
Okay. Let me try. Is it coming something? No.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's database, Mataji.
Oh, I'm not able to see. Okay. I think I've clicked something wrong, probably. Sorry for that.
Or else I will share, Mataji.
Huh? Yeah, okay.
Yes, Mataji. Let me open it.
Okay, thank you. So in that way, we see that so Srila Rupa Goswami is especially empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to write those amazing literatures, which are actually the guiding books for all the Vaishnavas. So we have done this. Yeah. So it's a short biography we saw last time itself, 1489 appearance from the Saraswat Brahmana family. Father's name is Kumara Deva. Actually, childhood name is, his name is Amar. Sanatana Goswami is Santosh Bhatt. Diksha Guru is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Manjari, okay, temple. Disciples, Jiva Goswami. He accepted Jiva Goswami, and he was a finance minister. Sanatana Goswami was prime minister. Brothers are Sanatana and Anupam. Bhajan Kutir, he had his Bhajan Kutir and also Samadhi, both in Ter Kadamba, which is in Nandagram. We will see that. Final pastime 1564. And Samadhi, Radha Damodar Mandir. Yeah, in Vrindavan. Okay. Yeah, Prabhu, we will go further into it. Various pastimes. Yeah. Okay. So Mahaprabhu instructs Rupa Goswami in Prayag, where we saw that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested, Sanatana Rupa Goswami to give up that government position and come and join him. So that time Mahaprabhu was in the confluence of these three rivers, Prayaga, and so he called, and the Dasiswamedha Ghat, where you see here, that's where is the place he actually instructed the signs. Yes, Prabhu, you go further, we will see. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are many personalities and characters coming. And Mahaprabhu, through his devotees, very dear devotees, associates, he was teaching various different things for all of us. Through some, Haridas Thakur, he showed forbearance through the example of Haridas Thakur, because we know Haridas Thakur, he was beaten in 22 marketplaces, right? Because he was chanting the holy name. He was badly treated by the Nawab, and he was beaten in 22 marketplaces. So, and they want to kill him actually. But how Haridas Thakur was, very, very very humble. And in fact, he was praying for those who were beating him. He was praying to the Lord that please forgive them, for they do not know the sin what they are committing. So that was the mood of Haridas Thakur. And then, so through Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, what Mahaprabhu wanted to teach all of us is the humility, extremely humble. Where even though they are born in a very, very, very aristocratic family, from a Brahmana family, yet just because they, worked for Nawab, they considered themselves as, like untouchables. And they would never enter Jagannath temple. Just believe, imagine Jagannath Puri, as we all know that, only, non-Hindus cannot enter into Jagannath Puri because of various reasons, not because of the caste reason, because those days meat eaters were not allowed inside Jagannath temple, very simple as that. But just because they considered themselves working for the Nawab, so indirectly they are also, supporting them. So they never dare to enter Jagannath temple. They would always stand outside, even though they were such dear, associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They never said, okay, we have that, they could have used Mahaprabhu's name or their devotion or whatever, but they never, they always truly considered themselves as very, very low, very insignificant. And we know that Mahaprabhu himself said, your humility is breaking my heart. That's what Mahaprabhu said. And then they won't even go to Kashi Mishra's house where Mahaprabhu was staying, in Gambira. That's a place where Mahaprabhu stayed 18 years in Jagannath Puri. But they won't even enter. They're thinking that they are not qualified to enter. That's the mood of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So humble. And, putting the straw in the teeth, they would go and pay their respects to Mahaprabhu. So one of the reason it is mentioned, putting the, the grass, is that, we are so sinful. We are so sinful that, for us, there is no hope of deliverance. So the amount of sins what we have actually accumulated, we are only fit to be born as an animal. That's an indication they keep this straw in the teeth. Just imagine considering themselves so lower that, we are like considered as animals. We will only get a birth of an animal. So that is the mood, this great personalities. And he knows more than 17 languages. I was telling you last time. Rupa Goswami knew more than 17 languages, and highly extraordinary. We will see his poetical work, stunned by all the associates. Mahaprabhu's all associates would be stunned to hear. And Mahaprabhu himself glorifies Rupa Goswami as if he has got thousands of mouths. So that's the humility personified is Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Okay, Prabhu. So Rupa Goswami knew the heart of Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu once said to Rupa Goswami that never make Krishna leave Raja. Krishna, never make Krishna leave. Raja is Vrindavan, basically. Indeed, Krishna never abandons Vrindavan to go elsewhere. Krishna is always present in Vrindavan. He never leaves. Even if Krishna leaves Vrindavan, it is a different form. Krishna is originally present in Vrindavan always. So when he heard this, Rupa Goswami could immediately understand. For us, the statement looks like a generic statement. But for Rupa Goswami, he could understand, because that time he was writing two different poetries. Actually, he was combining both the poetries. One is Lalita Madhava and another one is Vidagdha Madhava. And Vidagdha Madhava is totally about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. And Lalita Madhava is Krishna's pastime in Dwaraka. Actually, he was putting together in one book. So that time, Mahaprabhu made a statement, never make Krishna leave Raja. So then Rupa Goswami could understand the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not want him to put both the Vrindavan Leela and Dwaraka Leela together. So that means I should make it as two different books. So then he wrote Lalita Madhava separately and Vidagdha Madhava separately. And Vidagdha Madhava, Krishna's pastimes at Vrindavan, Lalita Madhava is Krishna's pastime in Dwaraka. So how, he could understand the heart of Rupa Goswami, heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why Chaitanya Manobishtam. Not everyone can understand. One only who has got that supreme devotion can understand. That's why they say even disciples also, there are 3 classes of disciples mentioned. First class disciple, second class disciple, third class disciple. First class disciple is someone, let's go from third. A third class disciple is someone who the spiritual master gives the instruction, okay, please do this. But the disciple fails to fulfill the instructions of the spiritual master. That's a third class disciple. Second class disciple is someone, the spiritual master tells, okay, if you do this, this will please me. Then the disciple makes an attempt, to follow that instruction. So that is a second class disciple. A first class disciple is someone, the spiritual master do not have to say anything. Because he has understood the heart of the spiritual master, just by being with him and, knowing his heart, he will do the right things at the right time. That is the class of the, that is the class of that disciple who is in that, who has understood the heart of the spiritual master. So that is why understanding the mood of spiritual master, understanding mood of Krishna, that and all is top class. That one can do, once I asked this question to my spiritual master. So he was telling that first become a second class disciple. So our attempt should be straight away not the first class disciple. First, we should raise ourselves to the second class disciple. That means the spiritual master gives various instructions. The spiritual master also, we have many spiritual masters. We have like many in the sense, we may have one Diksha Guru, we may have many Siksha Gurus. And Srila Prabhupada is considered as our primary Siksha Guru for all of us, because by his book, through him only we knew everything, right? So Srila Prabhupada's instructions, what Prabhupada likes, by reading his book, we understand what Srila Prabhupada likes. And then also the Siksha Gurus who are helping us, in trying to understand Srila Prabhupada. So when we follow their instructions, first we come to that level of following their instructions and making them happy, pleasing them. Then what happens when we do that? Then by the mercy of Krishna, so the second level, to become a second class disciple, we should put a lot of effort. To become a first class disciple, just a effort alone will not work. Krishna's mercy is very much required. So when I asked this question, my spiritual master told me that first try to become a second class disciple. Then when you become a second class disciple, seeing that sincere efforts, Krishna will shower the mercy, and then you will be elevated as a first class disciple. So this is one very important thing. So Rupa Goswami, we can understand what kind of a personality he was, that he could understand the heart of the Supreme Lord. The heart of the Supreme Lord. So that is all top class level. If you see Srila Prabhupada's disciples, there are a few, almost Prabhupada's disciples are all mostly first class only. They can understand the heart of Prabhupada very much. Not that Prabhupada has to give them instruction and then do. And Srila Prabhupada is very much appreciative of His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj could immediately understand. So one time when Srila Prabhupada was sitting in Vyasas and he was giving a class, he was just looking at Tamal Krishna Maharaj. That's all. He didn't even say. Tamal Krishna Maharaj ran to Srila Prabhupada's room. He took his, glass, the drinking glass of Srila Prabhupada, ran to Ganga, got the water and gave it to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada drank that water. And then he was so pleased. And everyone was stunned. Prabhupada did not say any word that you go and get me water, nothing. He just looked at him. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj could understand what Srila Prabhupada needed that time. So first class disciple. So Srila Rupa Goswami was such an extraordinary personality that he could understand the heart of the Supreme Lord. So that is why he is considered as the head of all the Goswamis. And Srila Prabhupada said, we are all Rupanugas. We are following the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. He is leading us and we are trying to follow his footsteps. So we are all Rupanugas. Anu means follow, and Rupa Nuga means Rupa Goswami, we are following. So that is the point. So he understood and he made the two different beautiful work. One is Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava. Yes, Prabhu. So the Lord personally appreciates Rupa Goswami's poetry. This is actually in one particular time when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in front of Lord Jagannath chariot. As we all know very well that when Mahaprabhu sees Lord Jagannath, he goes into complete ecstasy, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani, when she looks at Krishna, she goes into great ecstasy. So that's what happening when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, whenever he sees Lord Jagannath, his beautiful eyes, the beautiful form, very nicely, in the morning song in Krishna Balaram temple, they sing this beautiful song in the morning, Vibhavari Shesha Aloka Pravesha. In that there is one line comes, Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohanabam Se Bihari. Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohanabam Se Bihari. Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara, like a fresh rain cloud. Krishna, your form is like a fresh rain cloud. A cloud which is about to shower rain. It is not completely blue. It is not. It is a blackish blue. So it is about to give shower the rain. So you are in that fresh rain cloud. The translation given is you are like a fresh rain cloud, and you steal our hearts. So beautiful you are. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, when he is looking at Lord Jagannath, his heart is flooded with ecstasy, flooded with love. So that's what happens. So that time, Mahaprabhu actually, he composed a verse in the mood of, he recited a verse. And that is from a poem called Kavya Prakasha. Mahaprabhu recited that verse. And Rupa Goswami just heard it. That's all. Just by hearing it, he composed a similar verse, to the mood of what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is now feeling, looking at the feeling or the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looking at Lord Jagannath. Let's see, that is in the next. Prabhu, can you go to the next slide? Yes. This is the one. Priya Soyam Krishna Sahachari Kurukshetra Militas Tataham Sarada Tad Idam Mubayo Sangama Sukham Tatapi Anta Kelan Madura Murali Panchame Jushe Manome Kalindi Pulina Vipinayas Prahayati. This is the verse who wrote? Rupa Goswami wrote. And what does that mean? Oh companion, this is the same beloved Krishna meeting me here in Kurukshetra. And I am the same Radha, and both of us are feeling the joy of union. Even so, my mind wishes for the forest by the banks of the Yamuna, where the fifth note of his flute reverberated sweetly within my heart. Actually, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at Krishna, looked at Lord Jagannath, he composed one poem, which is very generic and no one understood it. Rupa Goswami put it very clearly, saying, Radharani, it is like Kurukshetra, because Ratha Yatra happens, and when Kurukshetra they went, Radharani saw Krishna, right? All the gopis and everyone saw Krishna after a long time. And when they looked at Krishna, their heart, Radharani was feeling so much of ecstasy. At the same time, she was not very happy to see Krishna with all the, crown and like a prince, like a king. So she wanted Krishna to be back to Vrindavan, having his flute and, as a cowherd boy. That is what was her desire. Even though she saw Krishna, she wanted Krishna to be like a cowherd boy. So he captured the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he wrote this verse. And when Rupa Goswami, when he returned from bathing, Mahaprabhu, affectionately slapped Rupa Goswami. He said, how did you understand my heart? How did you know what was in my heart? Because nobody could understand, because he is reciting some verse from something they thought. But Rupa Goswami understood actually it is like Radha and Krishna when they saw each other in Kurukshetra and how Radharani felt that Krishna should come to Vraja. That's the point here. Even though I am so happy seeing you, my mind wishes for the forest by the banks of Yamuna, where the fifth note of his flute reverberated sweetly within my heart. Like a cowherd boy, she wanted to see Krishna. So this is why he was able to always capture what was in the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So such a very extraordinary personality is Srila Rupa Goswami. Yes, Prabhu? So Ramananda Rai glorifies Rupa Goswami. So when Ramananda Rai heard this extraordinary verse, he was drenched in love for God and he praised, because Ramananda Rai we all know, right? Who is Ramananda Rai? Anyone knows Ramananda Rai in his spiritual identity? Of course, in Goloka. Anyone knows who is Ramananda Rai?
Satyabhama.
Vishaka Devi.
Vishaka Devi. Excellent. Vishaka Devi. So Vishaka is also the very closest Saki, very dearest Saki of Srimati Radharani. So we all know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed privately so many things with Ramananda Roy, which he did not discuss with all other associates. Very confidential things he would discuss with Ramananda Roy, because it's a Vishaka Devi, Radharani in the mood discussing Vishaka Devi. And so then, and Ramananda Roy was such an extraordinary person. Poetry, he was like, so expert in poetry that Ramananda Rai knows all the different aspects of a poetry. He was such a scholar, very learned. So when he heard Rupa Goswami's poetry, he was so, like very much delighted, hearing the poetry of Ramananda, Rupa Goswami, and he glorified. And he said that Rupa could only have written such an accurate portrayal of such difficult concepts as a result of Lord's mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you have showered your mercy upon him. That's why he could write like this. I wish I had 1,000 tongues to glorify Rupa's poetic ability. This is not poetry, it is a fountain of ambrosia. He has exactly followed the classical tradition in composing his play. His description of Radha and Krishna's love affairs is truly wonderful. My eyes and my ears and mind are spinning with delight upon hearing them. So that is the mood, Ramananda Rai glorified Rupa Goswami's writing. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will ask him, Rupa, you please recite those verses, and Rupa Goswami will feel very shy, to recite. Just imagine if someone is very scholarly, someone is extraordinary, praised by the Lord himself, and who could, capture the heart of the Lord, but no sign of pride. So he was feeling that I am so insignificant. How can I present my poetry? I was reading, it's in another place. He was telling Ramananda, it's an arrogance if I actually tell about my poetry in front of you. So he was feeling shy and he was feeling himself truly insignificant. That's why he was humility personified, Rupa Goswami. Yes, Prabhu. So see, what is the emotion of Rupa Goswami? Just imagine, his writing is so powerful that it even affected the Kadamba tree. It's a beautiful Kadamba tree under which Rupa Goswami would sit and write these two books. So what happens was this place is called Tet Kadamba, where it is in Nandagram, Vrindavan. And this is a place where, Krishna was grazing, took in charge of grazing the cows. And, this very famous pastime, as we all know, and that grazing cows, he was given in charge on the day called Gopashtami. Gopashtami is the day, Go means cows, we know, and the Ashtami Tithi of Krishna took in charge of, he was promoted from grazing the looking after the calves to cows. So that is the Gopashtami day. And when Krishna was given this, he took this new role, new service of grazing the cows. And one day Mother Yashoda was telling, Krishna is going to graze cows, means that they will go into, because when he was taking the calves, he won't go inside deep into the forest. But the cows means, you have to take the cows deep inside the forest, and, so Krishna may, any thorns may prick Krishna's very gentle and soft skin. So Mother Yashoda was very worried. So she was telling that, we are making, special shoes, you should wear the shoes and go. But then Krishna was very worried. Okay, I will wear shoes, but if you give shoes to all my cows, then I will be happy to take the shoes. Then Mother Yashoda said, how can we give shoes to all the 9 lakh cows? That is very difficult. Then Krishna said, and I'm not also taking. So hearing that, the cows became, very touched. How much love Krishna has got for them. So they were so touched by the love of Krishna that they wanted to reciprocate. So what they did, all the cows, they started, with their horns. They were actually, drilling the sand and making it so soft. That's why if you say Ramanareti in Vrindavan, when we go, the soft is like, so soft. It's like a powder, very, very fine and very nice, very soft. When we walk, it is like as if we are walking on a bed of roses. So soft. So they were doing that so that Krishna as soft lotus feet will not be pricked by any thorns. So that was the reciprocation. So all these wonderful pastimes used to happen here. So, and also Krishna would, after at the end of the day, after grazing, Krishna would call. He will have a Sakshi Mala, the 108 important cows. Krishna would call the names of the cows, and some cows are so naughty cows that they would wait for Krishna because to Krishna to call few times, because they loved hearing their names called by Krishna. So they will 3-4 times Krishna has to call, then they will come and they will come near Krishna. So like that, so many sweet pastimes. So this is a place where Rupa Goswami was having his bhajan kutar. And he will be writing, all these wonderful poetical works. So when he was writing, see the power of his devotion, the devotional emotion of Srila Rupa Goswami, that when he was writing about the separation of Radha and Krishna, Radha and Krishna are in different place, and Radharani is feeling great separation from Krishna, and and when he was writing those kind of pastimes, then the Kadamba tree would cry. How it would show that emotions, the Kadamba tree, it would shed off all its leaves. All the leaves would start falling off. And the Kadamba tree was expressing its great grief and sorrow by shedding off the, all the leaves. And when Rupa Goswami would write the pastimes, about the union of Radha and Krishna coming together, then the Kadamba tree would become very jubilant, and and it will sprout new leaves and the blossoming flowers. So that's the way the Kadamba tree could reciprocate. By the mercy of a pure Vaishnava like Srila Rupa Goswami, this Kadamba tree could understand and appreciate the intimate and confidential subject matter which remains beyond our comprehension. Even we can't understand, in the sense, even as a human being, but the Kadamba tree could understand and appreciate. That is a potency of a pure Vaishnava, even a dumb. That's why, we say, by the mercy of a spiritual master, pure devotee, what happens? A dumb can speak eloquently. Who cannot even open his mouth and speak even broken words, can speak eloquently by the mercy of a pure devotee. Not only that, a blind can see stars, a lame can cross mountains. That's the power of a pure devotee. That anything is possible by the mercy of a pure devotee. So this is our greatest hope. For all the conditioned souls in this material world whom we are struggling, for us, everything, in this material world is a struggle, whether it is to obtain material things, whether it is a wealth, health, and name whatever it is. Everything we have to put so much of effort, and sometimes that effort doesn't really give fruit. And spiritual things also, we all struggle in the sense we are not able to put our focus in chanting. One day we do, one day we don't. Ours is like thick and thin. Sometimes our enthusiasm is so much. We want to do this, that, and everything. Sometimes our enthusiasm is so low that we struggle so much. For us, even finishing our rounds or doing a devotion service looks like something very big. So the conditioned soul is like a 50-50, like sometime happy, sometimes sorrow, sometime enthusiastic, sometimes no enthusiasm, sometime like a very like what I should say, very determined to achieve something, sometimes zero enthusiasm, zero determination. So always here and there, fully no consistency, always ups and downs, dualities completely, and see that a lot of struggle. So for us, we have no hope to achieve perfection with this kind of shortcomings. Like one day it is like we go in a rocket speed, next day a snail, like a snail we go in whether it is a material or spiritual journey, no need to say. So then where is the hope of what is the hope for us? Absolutely no hope. But the scriptures, by reading the scriptures and hearing scriptures, we are getting a hope. What is that hope? The shelter of a pure devotee. So the pure devotees are our shelter, because by their mercy, we can, even though we are not qualified, we are not worthy of achieving any perfection in this life, and these are all far out subjects for us. But by their mercy, we can also understand, we can also appreciate, we can also achieve perfection. How wonderful, isn't it? This is a great news, that we should just grab the shelter of a pure devotee. We should just grab their lotus feet, just to hold on, finish. I'm not going to leave you, and you are my just only hope. So that is why the great Acharya Srila Prabhupada, and all his glorious disciples, these are the personalities whom we can take shelter, by their mercy, definitely, because, they are fully compassionate. They are so compassionate. They never actually think, oh, you are a dumb, you are someone very learned. They are equal. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. Just like Krishna is equal to everyone, the pure devotees are also very, very merciful. In fact, they try to give more mercy to the most fallen. So we have a great hope that by catching hold of their lotus feet, we can also achieve, like this Kadamba tree got, because of the potency, the pure Vaishnava's mercy, the Kadamba tree could understand such intricate emotional feelings and of this confidential subject matters of Radha and Krishna. So amazing, isn't it? So that's wonderful. Yes, Prabhu. So Rupa, this is a beautiful pastime of Rupa Goswami. We all know that when we saw the Brajamandal Parikrama, when we saw there were 7 main temples, by the different Goswamis. So one of the deities is called Radha Govinda, Govindaji Mandir, Govindaji temple, very famous temple, very beautiful temple. So this Govindaji is a personal deity of Sri Rupa Goswami. And this is also a very, very nice pastime. So one day, Srila Rupa Goswami was sitting near on the banks of Yamuna, and he was feeling great separation from Krishna. He was also feeling very sad. In the material world, people feel sad because that we do not have a material fulfillment. When we don't have a material fulfillment, we become very sad. I expected this to happen, it didn't happen. I expected that to happen, didn't happen. So when the material things are not fulfilled, we feel great grief. The spiritual personalities, the pure devotees, on the contrary, they feel very dejected when they see their spiritual fulfillment, in the sense they actually think about those wonderful pastimes of Krishna. They go inside the pastimes and they feel, oh, how Krishna would be feeling sad. Oh, Radharani would be feeling sad. Hey, Radhe, hey, Vraja Lalite, hey, Nanda Sunahuda, where are you? Where is Lalita? Where is Radharani? Where are you? Are you near Govardhan? Are you here? Like this. The Goswamis are always thinking like that. So they are thinking in that mood, and he was feeling that separation. So that time, one very wonderful looking cowherd boy came, and in a very sweet voice, he asked, "Oh, my dear Rupa, Babaji, you look very sad. What is the problem?" And then he told that what was troubling him. And then he said, "Don't worry, you will be able to find Govinda, you will be able to see Krishna in the hill name, there's a hill called Gomatila. So you go to the Gomatila, there every morning a cow is coming. It is like a hill, and in the top of the hill, the cow is coming and showering milk. So you go there and find Govinda there." So then Rupa Goswami called all the cowherd men, and they all went there and they dig that place. And then they found the deity of Govindaji, who is so beautiful, very, very beautiful. It is mentioned that they're more beautiful than 1,000,000 cupids. There is a song, na? Angani yasya sakalen apreciates Pashyanti panti kalayanti Shiram jaganti Ananda chinmaya sadato jvala vigrahasya Govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. Actually, it comes in the first one. First one is, what is that first one? The first verse. The second one, the meanings of
Venum Kanvantam.
Venum Kanvantam. Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. Venum Kanvantam Aravinda Dalayataksham Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Kandarpa, Cupid. Kandarpa Koti, millions of cupids cannot come near your beauty. So that's the point here. Govindaji is more beautiful than 1,000,000 cupids. So actually this Govinda deity was originally worshipped by Krishna's grandson Vajranabha. Then later, the time, various reasons, that Govinda deity, went under this Gomatila, that the hill, and got surrounded, like covered by bushes and all that. So then when Rupa Goswami was feeling the separation from Krishna, and the cowherd boy is none other than Krishna himself comes and then tells him that, I'm actually there. You go and find me. So, yes, Prabhu. Move to the next one. So then Rupa Goswami found that Govindaji deity, and then he installed them. This is a temple, you can see Govindaji Mandir. How beautiful, the structure, you see. So then Radharani told about this Govinda deity. So having seen incomparable, Shri Radhika begins describing it to her Sakhis. What she is saying, who has sculptured that moon-like face, and who has sculptured those two lotus eyes? Only my heart knows how I feel when I see him. Who has shaped his earrings, cut carefully in gems? My mind is fixed on them. His nose pearl, surrounded by a golden ring, looks like a moon-like white flower, surrounded by lightning, smiling from behind some blue clouds. So Radharani liked this form of, formed like the, the beautiful face of Govindaji. So that's a personal, this thing of, this is written in the book Bhakti Ratnakar by Srinivasa Acharya, one song from Srinivasa Acharya. Bhaktiratna quotes one song from Srinivasa Acharya to describe the beauty of Rupa Goswami's beloved Govinda Jayanti. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. So the deities of Radha Damodarji was carved by Srila Rupa Goswami. He got a dream in which it was mentioned to him to carve the deity, but he didn't know how to do it. Then later it was instructed to him to start carving the deities, and the form will manifest as he goes ahead. That's how the beautiful deities of Radha Damodar. This is Radha. Now Radha Govinda finished. So Radha Govinda is also called, there are Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana deities. So the Sambandha deity is Madana Mohan, that is worshipped by Sanatana Goswami. So the Abhideya deity, is Radha Govinda, and the Prayojana deity is Radha Gopinath. So Radha Govinda deity is a very powerful, merciful deity. It is mentioned that so this is Radha Damodar. So that is different. That is Radha Govindaji, and that was under the hill, and it was taken out, and then Rupa Goswami constructed the temple and then arranged the installation of Radha Govindaji. Radha Damodar is personally carved by Srila Rupa Goswami. He got a dream, and he was given the instruction to carve the deity, but he did not know how to carve. Then he was given that blessing that you start and then you will be given that direction, and in that way this Radha Damodar deity is very famous. As we know, the Radha Damodar temple, courtyard, we have all the great personalities. Samadhi Mandir is there, and that is a place where Srila Prabhupada also, same temple where Prabhupada stayed during his stay in Vrindavan. He wrote scriptures, before leaving to the USA for preaching the holy name. So Radha Damodar is such a very important temple for all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because Srila Prabhupada was looking at Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, and he was always praying for the mercy of Rupa Goswami. So, one of the pujaris who were actually later serving the Radha Damodar deity, he was telling that Srila Prabhupada was known as Abhay Charan, isn't it, before? So, when he got to see the, white devotees, Western devotees coming to Radha Damodar temple and all that, and singing, dancing, and then he came to see Prabhupada's, a picture in the Radha, in the Back to Garden magazine and all that. He was very happy because he was saying that how Abhay Babu used to come. He used to be there in the Radha Damodar temple writing books, and in the midnight he will be hearing crying sound. Who is crying in the midnight, like 2 o'clock, like that, very late in the night. And then he would see that Srila Prabhupada would come and, sweep, near the Rupa Goswami Samadhi Mandir, and he would be crying and praying to Srila Rupa Goswami, and to all the other great Goswamis. So this is how Srila Prabhupada, spread the Krishna consciousness movement. It's not like he was, we know so much sacrifice Srila Prabhupada made, but not only sacrifice, Srila Prabhupada prayed and cried and prayed, to fulfill the instruction. We were talking about the first class disciple, second class disciple, third class. So Srila Prabhupada was such an extraordinary personality. All the time, his whole life and soul was fulfilling the instructions of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he was crying and praying to the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami. So our movement is that's the way we get mercy, begging for the mercy. The intensity what Prabhupada had in prayer. Today we also saw. He did not just, okay, it happens, okay, it was a failure, what can I do? He had all the, he could have given all the excuses, I'm a very old person, God, I have to go through the heart attack and then struggle. No one is listening here. What can I do? I tried my best. Nothing worked out, so I'm going back to India. Prabhupada never said that. He was always depending on the mercy of Krishna, praying and crying to the deities and to the acharyas, and he was very, very confident that he will be able to fulfill the words of the spiritual master. Okay, so this is Radharani came to give ingredients. We know this pastime. I think I shared this last week itself. How Rupa and Sanatana was so absorbed. There are little different versions here. They were so absorbed in hearing the pastimes, absorbed in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna that they could not eat anything. And then the little beautiful young girl comes and tells, you can eat and then you can continue, talking. But then they were so absorbed that they couldn't do. And then she she brought and gave, and then she could see that they are not doing anything. So she herself made a wonderful sweet kheer. And then she offered and gave it to Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami gave it to his brother, Sanatana Goswami. And when he took it, it was like a nectar, and then he said that it's definitely out of the world. No mortal beings can actually make this. Who is this person? And then he gave the description. And then immediately Sanatana Goswami could understand that it's none other than Srimati Radharani who has come and made this for, gave it to her brother, and then gave it to his brother. And then he said that we should not take service from our, from Radharani. We are supposed to give our service to our master and mistress, not that we take service from them. So that's the mood of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies Rupa Goswami. Yes. So Chaitanya, this is a very, very important point. We are coming towards the end now. So this is a very beautiful verse. Prabhu, if that verse you show, then we will talk on that. Next one. Yeah. So one day Rupa Goswami was writing busily Vidagdha Madhava. So Mahaprabhu came there and he was seeing the handwriting of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami's handwriting was so beautiful. Mahaprabhu compared the handwriting of Rupa Goswami to a string of pearls. And he read that verse. This is a very beautiful verse. We all can meditate. It is about the holy name. Tunde Tandavani Ratim Vitanute Tundavali Labdeye Karna Krodha Kadambini Gatyate Karnar Budebhya Spraham Cheta Prananga Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritam no Jane Janito Kiyarbir Amritai Krishneti Varna Dvai. I didn't understand anything here, but you can see the meaning what is written. I do not know how much of nectar the two syllables of Krishna's name have been fabricated. Krishna, two syllables. Krish is one, na. Krishna, how much nectar is locked inside these two syllables? Dancing madly on my tongue, they awaken in me the desire to possess many mouths. As they sprout in my ears, they give me the hope that I may one day have millions of ears. And as they enter into the garden of my heart, they overcome the activities of every one of my senses, leaving me inert. Just imagine, huh? So Srila Rupa Goswami is saying this word Krishna and Na has so much nectar that I want, I desire to have many, many mouths. Because one mouth cannot just taste that nectar. So much nectar it is. And when that holy name is entering my ears, I feel that not just 2 years, I need millions of years. And when it enters my heart, I feel that all my senses, stops functioning. It becomes inert. So this is the Nama Ruchi, the taste, what Srila Rupa Goswami had. She had such a taste that he is desiring to possess millions of years and millions of mouths to chant and hear Krishna's holy name. So when Haridas Thakur heard this, he was amazed to hear. Haridas Thakur is called Nama Acharya, right? He has been given the title Acharya for the holy name by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And when he heard, he became very amazed. And he said, I have heard the glories of the holy name from many scriptures, but never a description like this of the sweetness of the name. So much I have heard, but nothing can be compared to what Srila Rupa Goswami has composed. This is about the holy name, Krishna. So much of sweetness. Yes. So we can pray to Srila Rupa Goswami to bless us, that we can, that we be blessed also to taste a drop of that nectar, drop of that nectar, which is locked in these two syllables, Krish and Na. Let we also be blessed to desire by the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami that, oh, when will I possess the millions of mouths to relish the sweetness of the holy name? When will I possess millions of ears so that this sweetness of the holy name can just enter my ears and, enliven me? When this holy name can enter into the garden of my heart and, make me mad, chanting this holy name. So we can transform my heart, purify my heart. So we can also pray to Srila Rupa Goswami. So by his mercy, how the Kadamba tree could feel the emotion, devotional emotion, by the mercy of Srila Rupa Goswami, the Acharyas. Let our desert-like heart can also feel the drop of that nectar. So we can also, pray to Srila Rupa Goswami, and he has written so many amazing books. We can see here Hamsaduta, Uddhava Sandesha, Krishna Janmati Vidi, Lagu Radha Krishna Ganodesha Deepika, Brihat Radha Krishna Ganodesha Deepika, Stavamala. It's a very beautiful book, Stavamala. Vidagda Madhava, Lalita Madhava, Danakeli Kaumudi. This is very sweet. Danakeli Kaumudi is, why Rupa Goswami wrote this book? Because Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, he's also one of the 6 Goswamis. We all know Panihati festival. Raghunatha Dasa Goswami was his son of a zamindar, right? And how he got so attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was such an amazing, a symbol of renunciation. He was actually with Mahaprabhu towards Antya Leela. And after when Mahaprabhu left this world, he couldn't bear the separation, and he went to Vrindavan, and he would hours and hours and hours shower those nectarian pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that which he, could personally witness. When he was in Jagannath Puri. In that way, he was giving so much of joy for the people of, for the residents of Vrindavan. So at one particular point of time, when Raghunatha Dasa Goswami was listening the pastimes, and then, that Krishna left, Radharani, and, went. So when he heard that he was so much in separation and that he could not, console himself, and then he was ready to commit suicide, give up his life. That was the extent this Goswamis were feeling separation. So to make him happy, immediately Rupa Goswami wrote a book called Danakeli Kaumudi. He said that, the other book which you are reading, give back to me, because that is all about separation. So he said, give back that book, you take this book. And what is this Danakeli Kaumudi? It is all about the toll pastimes of Radha and Krishna. That how beautifully, Krishna would stop all the gopis and he will say, hey, you have to cross this side, you have to pay the tax, otherwise you cannot enter here. And then Radharani's, the gopis always say, why we should pay to you? You are just a cowherd boy. You are not King Kamsa, or you are the Kamsa's man. Why we should pay? Our Radharani is the, she is the queen of Vrindavana. So like that, they have such a sweet dialogues and conversation. And when Rupa Goswami wrote this and gave, and Raghunath Das Goswami, when he was hearing this sweet conversation between the gopis and the gopas and also Krishna and Radharani, he was laughing and laughing and laughing, and he got into a different mood. So in that way, Rupa Goswami made Raghunath Das Goswami give up the idea of leaving his body and the feeling of separation. Amazing, sweet. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is nectar of devotion. Ujjvala Neelamani. Then Prayutakyata Chandrika, Mathura Mahima, Padyavali, very famous book. Nataka Chandrika and Lagu Bhagavatamrita. Like we have Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Brihad Bhagavatamrita was written by Sanatana Goswami. Lagu Bhagavatamrita by Rupa Goswami. Other than the 16 titles, Upadeshamrita, nectar of instruction, Nam Sataka, Siddhanta Ratna, and Kavya Kaustuba, also written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, the last slide. Rupa Goswami's pastimes in this world came to an end in the month of Bhadra, the 12th day of the waxing moon, the day after Chulan Ekadasi. So Rupa Goswami's Samadhi, we all know that it is in the Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. And also, it is the same place he performed his final bhajans, pastimes also in Radha Damodar temple. So, and that's a place, very, very significant place where our dear Srila Prabhupada was always praying to Srila Rupa Goswami. So very nice. Whenever we go to Vrindavan, we should never miss this Radha Damodar temple and the Samadhi where of Srila Rupa Goswami and all the acharyas to pray there. There's so much to talk about Srila Rupa Goswami. Of course, we just a bit we saw a glimpse today. So we will continue because this particular chapter is all about Rupa Goswami and how he, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the instruction what he gave at Prayag, and all these different things are coming, which we will see down the line. So Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we can pray to Srila Rupa Goswami for all his mercy, for especially chanting the holy name, because we could see that he has so much described about the Krishna Nam, the Krishna, the word Krishna, so powerful, so much potency, so much nectar locked. So we can pray to Srila Rupa Goswami for Namaruchi, taste for holy name. And also any obstacles, in chanting the holy name, we can pray. So in that way, we can also get an opportunity to taste. Yeah, so I'll stop here. And is there any announcements we can make? Tomorrow is Ekadasi, very auspicious Ekadasi, Kamada Ekadasi. And yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna all
Yes.
devotees.
Sorry?
Yeah, so this is regarding announcement Mataji that
Yeah.
as everyone knows that we are launching our Gita Gyan on 12th May, but we need a lot of things to do before. We have 1 month from now, but a lot of promotion needs to be done. So far, very less registration we have received in last 10 days.
Okay.
But we need to gear up in this front from all the dhams, all the sector leaders, wherever they are, because it is central event, but somehow we are this time tracking at dham level due to region and regional area. But it should not be a barrier. Whenever we need, we will help across the dhams, and we will try to get as much as possible in 6 languages which we have published. So I will request each Sankirtan team, service team, everyone has to coordinate here. It's not only outreach team who will stand on their toes and do these things. So everyone has to help here and get the registration up to mark. So last time in last August, we got approximately 450 registration. And now we have 1 month, so we have to promote it nicely. Sankirtan, we have good time, sunny days and everything. So we can go out and plan it. So we are also planning in Mathura Dham. Similarly, all the dhams should plan wherever their main areas of Bhakti Vriksha, they can attract the people, distribute the pamphlet, flyers, use it all the social media and do it. So this is the main kind of important announcement for a few weeks, Mataji. So
excellent. Yeah, see, we are studying all these different things. When we actually see, we are all sitting here because someone made an effort. Someone made an effort in our life, in our life, and they shared this Krishna consciousness with us. So that's the reason we are sitting here, right? So similarly, it is our duty, and also it's a token of our gratitude, to Krishna, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all the acharyas, that thank you so much for what you have given me. Now I also like to be an instrument, in giving this gift to others. So if each one of us here take it, as, in this spirit, then what happens is that we will, try to see that, all our groups, whatever groups we know, we can share it. So people can get an opportunity to hear about Bhagavad Gita, which is the sacred book, our holy scripture, and what is this book is offering us. All over the world, people from all different backgrounds are eager to learn. How important, and so much of life lessons are there, irrespective of whatever background we are. It is for everyone. Doesn't matter. It's not for just one particular sect or a color or for a faith. It is for everyone. It is for everyone. Krishna says we are soul. Soul has no tag of anything, not this country, that country, this color, this language, that language. That is the first lesson we learn in Bhagavad Gita. So it breaks all the different, kind of limitations, no limitations. So we can just go ahead sharing this with everyone. So please, every one of us, we can do this. This will be very pleasing to Krishna, very pleasing to all the acharyas. So how we get the mercy of the acharyas? When we do this, very gratefully, when we do this service, we will get their mercy. And when we get pure devotees' mercy, that's it. Impossible is possible. Right? So let's all put an effort, whatever groups, and it is running in all different languages. We are planning to do it in all different languages. Devotees are taking time off and doing. It's not that none of us, here is like a kind of simply nothing is there, so I'm doing it. Everyone is occupied with their own things. At the same time, I've taken up this glorious service. So please, let all of us work together as a team, or as one team. All of us can work together. Try our best. Wherever we see, we should try to promote. So in that way, that anyone by your, endeavor, they get an opportunity to listen to this glorious words, this of Bhagavad Gita, and if their lives gets transformed, you get so much of benediction. Whoever does that, we will get so much of blessings. So it is very, very important that we keep sharing, because everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. Everyone loves Krishna. It is just that we have forgotten. Some have forgotten, some are reminded by someone, so we are trying to. So we got reminded, so we are now serving Krishna. Some people are forgotten, and they are waiting that someone will come and remind them. So we can be that person. So we all can do that. So let's all do this very glorious service, and then try, to connect those souls back to Krishna. They have eternal connection with Krishna. They have forgotten. We are just trying to help them to get connected to Krishna. So this is very wonderful service. So let's do it together. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for bringing that point. And also, we have to continue praying for the people, for the devotees in Ukraine. Things are not really fully settled. So, we can't do physically anything. So some people supported financially. So we can do like that in whatever ways we can do. At least we can pray every day. We can keep them in our prayers. Prayers are always very powerful for the well-being of everyone. We pray for the well-being of everyone in the world. And especially when people go through difficulties at various parts of the world, then we can certainly pray for them. So that will be very nice. So we can all chant 3 times for all the devotees and people who are going through various difficulties and inconveniences. So we pray that those obstacles are removed and things get better. So we will chant 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So please, let's keep them in our prayers. And also, tomorrow is also a very, very special day. One of the very stalwart, glorious disciple of Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. His Vyasa Puja is tomorrow. That is 73rd Vyasa Puja. So it is the appearance day of a great general of Srila Prabhupada. So as I was mentioning, every disciple of Srila Prabhupada is so glorious. As I said, they all are like 70 plus now, you know, and even in this condition, they are all over the world traveling. You take any one of them, you know, everyone is in different parts of the world traveling. Even now, pandemic has not fully come to an end. We could see that we were yesterday, last Saturday, we were in Bhaktivedanta Manor. His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu was there. And he gave such an amazing Chaitanya Charitamrita class that morning. And after that, he was taking all the devotees for, you know, for book distribution. You know, so you see that all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada are fully their, you know, their heart, you know, like Chaitanya Manobishtam, like that they all know Prabhupada's Manobishtam, Prabhupada's mind. They completely understood the heart of Srila Prabhupada. So that's why for them, they are beyond their bodily platform. Doesn't matter what affects them. But they just go ahead doing it. And we could see that, you know, His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Indradumna Maharaj, everyone is traveling. You keep getting their different updates from different parts of the world, what they are doing. So, you know, and His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, recently he was, you know, he got COVID. And after COVID, he went through a very, you know, great risk of, you know, like he was having a lot of, you know, kind of disorders. And then he was taken airlifted. He was airlifted from Kolkata, you know, to you know, to Kolkata. And then they were treating him. And then he went to, you know, Chennai. As we all know, he had a you know, transplant, kidney transplant and liver transplant. And after that COVID, all these different kind of sufferings. Just imagine a person, and almost when he was airlifted, people, all the doctors were almost, they told that it's like chances are very, very less chance. But, you know, his desire to serve the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, we could see that. And after that, he was resting in Chennai. He could have rested in Chennai only. You know, the doctors were telling that he could rest, he should take very good rest. And he was having also cellulitis, you know, affecting his leg. And he will get fever and all that. So transplant, COVID, cellulitis, so many things, complication. Why they have to go through all this complication? Because they're accepting disciples and the karma of the disciples they have to take. So that means how much of a compassion, you know, like when we read Jesus Christ, how he took the sins of people, suffered. So like that, an Acharya suffers for the common people. So he didn't stop. After that, the doctor said you should not travel, but he traveled recently to, you know, to US, to Atlanta, to New Jersey, to New York. Everyone was stunned. My God, how a person could do it. And now I've returned back to, you know, Mayapur. So just imagine their heart is always thinking about fulfilling the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. How can I actually give some mercy to the conditioned souls in this material world? How we can lift them up? How we can actually connect them back? That's the mood of all these wonderful disciples, glorious disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So we can at least, what we can do is that we can try to assist them like a squirrels, you know, to the, you know, to their, what a big, you know, Herculean task, what they are doing. We can at least offer some little squirrel-like service in the mission of Srila Prabhupada, you know, like this Gita Gyan program, wherever, whatever way we can connect, that will be very, very wonderful. You know, so tomorrow is appearance day, Vyasa Puja, so we can all pray because all these great generals of Srila Prabhupada, they should stay in this world for a long time. Because the pure devotees, more they stay in this world, it is a good news for all the fallen souls. Because who will liberate? If these pure devotees go back home, back to Godhead, then who are that whom we will be able to take shelter of? So our prayer is that all these glorious disciples of Srila Prabhupada should stay healthy and for a long time give their glorious, merciful association for all of us, so that our lives can be uplifted. Like Kadamba tree got that greatest ecstasy by the mercy of Srila Rupa Gosvami. We can also, achieve those kind of mercy by the mercy of these great pure Vaishnavas. So we all can pray for the good health of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Tomorrow being the very auspicious Ekadasi, we can offer our prayers for his good health and long association. So we can all pray for that. So thank you so much, and we will catch up. Will Jagannath Darshan, we will have a quick darshan, and then we will end here. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Give me just 2 minutes, I'll be there. Hare Krishna, can you see? Hari Bol.
Yes, Mataji.
Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai
Baladev, Subhadra Mataji.
Jai. Jai. They are in their very bright pink outfits. And these outfits, this is Ramanavami Darshan. And these outfits are sponsored, not just sponsored, also got by Shrikant Prabhu and Manju Mataji. So they are offering to Lord Jagannath for Ramanavami. So they came here also personally, and we thank all the devotees who did a various sponsorship of Abhishek and also Boga offering, and personally Priyanka Mataji and family from the Ekachakra Dham. They made so many preparations for all the devotees, and many other devotees also brought many offerings. So we Jagannath, even I might forget somebody's name, but Lord Jagannath has noted all your names, whoever has done seva. So thank you for all your glorious service. Hari Hari Bol.
Jai
Jai.
Hari
Jagannath.
Bol. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra Maharaj, Jai
Jai Panchatantra.
Jai.
Okay, so Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, and my battery is becoming this thing. So we will catch up soon next week. And I think looks like now the pandemic has, in the sense now nobody is worried about pandemic. Everyone is going out and all that is happening. So I could see because of that our CC class attendance have reduced.